All right, everybody, and welcome. Pre-market analysis. We are looking at New Zealand. I'm going to jump right into it. We're going to look at the weekly indexes and see what we've got going on this week. Let's zoom in here just a little bit. Let's see. Move this out of the way here real quick. So this is the weekly on the New Zealand index, and yeah, see he's got a line drawn across connecting from here to here. I would draw more of a flat line. This is price support going across at 68, give or take. So we have a little room to come down maybe to 68, which was what I've been saying. And also a little more room to come down on the RSI. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit. Nope, can't do it. There we go. Try to zoom in just a little bit. So basically we're looking at the 5 moving average right here on the New Zealand on the weekly. So it looks like it has a little more room to come down. I believe it'll come down to 68 on the index. So that spells more trouble for any New Zealand. It's going to be going down. Any pair against it like Euro NZD should continue to push up. And we'll take a look at that pair here real quick. Let me see. Jump over and go to Euro NZD. And you can see Euro NZD on the 1 hour, well, it had a drop off right at the end, 68.70 down to 68.35. But let's go to the weekly. This is Euro NZD on the weekly. So Euro is also weak. We're going to look at the Euro on the index as well to see what it's saying. And we will compare, but this still looks pretty good. We may bounce here if the New Zealand is weaker than the Euro. So that's one of the things we need to take into consideration. Let's go back over here and see where the Euro is at, and then I'll come back to that. So here's the Euro. All right, so let's see if I can move that over. Here's what we're looking at. I did an analysis on the Euro USD, and I posted in Manifesting Profits in the chat room in my broadcast channel. I did it last week, and I said that basically the US dollar is going to continue to rally. You need to go and watch that video and listen to what I said so you can get an idea of what is coming as we continue to move forward. So obviously we're coming down. We're almost at a price level support right here. Got a little bit lower to go. We're at 116.64. I said we can come down to 115.90. Let me get a quick look here at Euro USD and see where we ended up on the week. All right. So here's Euro USD. Definitely came down. If you look right here, we got this purple line. So we came down to 116. Let's zoom in right there. And this was in the middle of the week when I called it. We were at 117 something. I said, we're going to come all the way down to right here, 115.90, and we'll bounce. Why is that? Well, it's pretty simple. That purple line I have corresponds with the monthly 50-period moving average right here. So it's actually could come a little bit lower, 115.82. So I'm revising it down a little bit. But look at that monster month straight down we are having. Okay, and we're coming to an end. It's May the 27th. We've got a few more days until the end of the month and the new month candle forms. So we may get a drop and then a little pullback. So On Friday, the new month begins, June. So we'll probably come right down here. We may bounce off of 115.82 and then pull back up. Then the next month, we may drop down and then bounce up and have a couple weeks of an up month to catch up to the 5 or the 10 that are going to come over here. Okay, as these moving averages curve on down. Or we could just have a straight down drop all the way to here, 114.71 by Friday. Wouldn't that be something? Another 200 pip drop. So don't sit here and keep saying, oh, well, the US dollar is so overbought that it has to reverse, and the euro is so oversold that it has to reverse. Friend, that thing could keep going. And that's what I was telling people. Look at this right here. This was last year, 2017, when we hopped on top of these moving averages. We did not pull back. This was March, I believe. Let me double check here real quick. So that was the month of March right here. And then April, May, just take a look at that. So March, April, May, June, monster. July, when did the pullback come? Well, in the middle of July, and it didn't really pull back very far. It only pulled back a little bit. It didn't come way back down here and do a 50% retracement. It pulled back just a little bit, then it took off again, went way up here. So it broke many people's hearts that were trying to say, it's so overbought that it has to but come down. No. So oversold, it has to but bounce up and go way back up here. No. The US dollar is strengthening across the board. This sucker could fall all the way down here. On the next month, we could have another 500 pip drop or 700 pip drop for the month and come way down here because the US dollar is strengthening and the euro is relenting. So here's the euro again, the euro index. As you see, it's coming down into these moving averages right here, and it may continue to come down here. If you look at the low, 103 is way down here. Well, y'all see this right here as well. Let me just put this on. I guess my annotations are locked up again. Yeah, I don't see them on here. It's all right. No worries. Way down here is $1. That's called par, break even. Euro versus USD. So currently it's $1.16 US dollars for 1 euro. Well, as this continues to come down and weaken as the US dollar gains strength across the world because of things that are going on politically and economically, well, you better believe this could keep going down. And you want to play the bounce, you do it to your own detriment. So be careful. If you are trying to time a bounce, we are going to probably continue down. The bounce will be ever so light because you see how when it hopped on top of the 5 here, it went straight up, way up. Okay, so be careful. If you are trying to time a pullback, it may not come. That is that. So let's go ahead and look now at the US dollar, since it's versus the same thing that we're saying. And we are looking at a resistance level right here, price level resistance. But again, and I said this a few weeks ago when we were down here at 92, and people were saying, yeah, we're getting a pullback. We're going to come way down here back to 90. I said, no, we're going up to 94. Look where we're at. We're at 94.25. I'm telling you guys, I know what I'm talking about. Y'all better pay attention. It's not always straight technical. A lot of times it's what's going on politically and economically. I've been watching these charts for a long time, and I know some of the stuff that continues to happen. People are expecting certain things to happen. You got to go with the trend. The saying, the age-old adage, the trend is your friend. Ride it till the end. Okay? Pretty simple. If you don't, you will not have any more friends left. You'll be broke. Pretty simple. So here we go. On the US dollar, we're bouncing. We have nice bottom support. We are in overbought territory on the 70, way up here. That doesn't mean anything. We can stay up there for a while, stay up there for several months. So don't just think, oh, because we're up here in overbought territory, we got to drop down. We may not. We may keep going. We may go to 97, 98 on the US dollar index. Boop, way up here. That's a breakaway, man. That's a beautiful looking thing right there. Check this out if I can get my screen to coordinate where I'm trying to send it. All right, so this is a nice breakout, broke away above the top. So we may get one little pullback, or we just trade sideways and pop again. Go to 95, 96, just climb like we did right here. We popped up here, traded sideways, one slight pullback, popped up again, traded sideways, no pullback. Boop, popped up, I mean, very little. This was the only real pullback you had right here. That probably pulled back to the 10. So that is that on the US dollar versus the euro. All right, now let's look at the Swiss franc. What does that look like it's doing? Swiss franc. Looks to me like it's gaining ground, doesn't it? I would say so. So we've got a little resistance coming up here, but the Swiss franc seems to be gaining ground. This is a 1-day time frame. I'm looking at the volume. It's pretty standard. We're coming way out of oversold territory on a straight run up, but we have room to go up on the Swiss franc, so it's got room to run. So you can mark that down. Swiss franc up, euro down, US dollar up, New Zealand down, and we can keep track of that to see what pairings you want to say. Okay, well, if we go US against New Zealand, NU, then we know U is going up and N is going down, so that's a great sell because New Zealand is weak. Let's go ahead and look at NU just so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's find NU. So here's NU on the weekly. Man, look at that. Beautiful. Right there. I said we could have a little support here about this level, 68, right there. So we could come down a little bit lower. So we're at 69.16. So NU could fall this week, 116 pips. It's a slow mover, but that'll be pretty good, huh? Catch you 116 pips on a side move, on a slow mover. I think you'll be all right. So that'll add up. And let's see what the daytime frame is saying. Gotta love those moving averages, though. Check that out. So we may get one little bounce, or we just open up just a tad, and then we're going to drop straight down because this would have been a nice grab several weeks straight down. That was as the US dollar was running. Setting up perfectly. So we're still under the 5. We're sitting on top of the 10, but I expect the bottom to fall out, and it comes right back down here to 68.68. And you will see a bounce probably right off of this Bollinger Band at 68. We may go a little bit through it. It's going to be a nice little grab, but it could keep going lower. Friend, that could go to 60. Don't try to time a buy on NU at 68 just because we're going to have a double bottom bounce. NU is still weak. Hope that makes sense to you. All right. And then let's see. Here's the thing I was showing you a minute ago. If euro is weak and New Zealand is weak, well, who's going to win that battle? I would think euro would win the battle and we'd keep going up. But right now we're looking at the weekly, and EN has broken down hard over here. Let's go to the monthly real quick. It's not where it wicks, it's where it closes. Look at last month. We came way down, made a bearish look, and we rallied all the way up here. Well, we're coming down again, putting in another wick, and we're going to rally all the way back up here. I'm pretty darn sure euro is going to go to 180 over New Zealand. EN will probably go way up here. So we're getting close to a buy point. I think Euro will come out ahead on this pairing. Oh, look at that. We're on here's the day chart. Is that beautiful or what? What do y'all see? Man alive. What a great time to buy. I wish the market would open right now. I would buy the crap out of EN. Why? It is sitting right on Big Mama. You're exactly right, guys. On 200. Right there. Perfect bounce. It could come a little bit below it. Like I said, it could come down here, 168. That would be perfect on the 68 for New Zealand. Come down here just a little bit, come through the 200. It's done it before, and then boom, rally up. So we're at 68.35. Yeah, if it comes to 1.68, man, that'd be beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So this is a good buy. So EN is a great buy, and y'all need to, if somebody could keep track of this for me. I don't know who's good with spreadsheets or whatever. You know, whenever I'm talking about pairs, say put a spreadsheet together and say down and up, and we can keep track of it on a weekly basis and say right now we still see EN down to whatever level. I'm sorry, the euro down to whatever level, US dollar down. So you have two columns. You have your pair column and your price column. And then you move over. That'd be awesome, Moses. I appreciate you, buddy. And so you have like four columns. You have your down column and your price expected hit. And then Tom, you already got one, man. You need to be sharing that with us, my friend. All right. Because I haven't done it. Oh, you did? You need to send it to me specifically so I can post it in broadcast and manifesting. That'd be beautiful. And then you have another set of columns where you have your up, and then you see the pairs, and you say ideal pairs. Euro NZD would be an ideal pair to bounce off of the bottom. And I say the potential bounce off of the bottom would be 1.68, maybe. That's about 35 pips down, so we need an alert. And then another pair would be NU, New Zealand US dollar, potential bounce, but not quite sure on that yet. It depends on the power and strength of the US dollar to take off. Now, we got to look at the strength of the pairs to say how close they are to support or resistance. Well, we know on the, and I'm talking about looking at the indexes. So over here, where the potential bounce is. So here, if I'm looking at the Swiss franc, and I'm saying, where is that potential bounce point? Right up here at 102. We're at 101.27. And we could go to 102.92. So we've got a little ways to go on the index. So that means the Swiss franc should run for several days, probably a week or 10 days. All right, you need to put that down. The Swiss franc could run. So that is good upside for the Swiss franc. And we need to see, like on the New Zealand, so NZD CHF or CHF NZD, whichever pair. I've never looked at that, I don't think. And then Sean called the same thing, clear resistance at 102.92. And all right, JPY, let's look at that. Definitely a shocker this week with a hard move it made to the upside. Price support overhead, JPY does what it wants to do, just like GPP. Closed under the 5, may drop from here, we'll see. Okay, so here's the thing that you've got to understand. What I kind of use an analogy of like hanging clothes on a clothesline. Gets too heavy, that line will come down, and the longer clothes, the heavier clothes will sag it down a little bit. Well, if we look over here, I'm going to zoom in. Oh, a little too hard there. Well, I wish I wouldn't do it so much. There we go. So you got to see, we're going to have several down weeks. You're going to have an up week. So we may gap down on JPY and drop further. So JPY could have the potential to fall. It's still not holding anything. It broke down below his red line. I believe that's the 50. I still don't have it straight what his colors are. I know yellow is 200. That's all I know. So this could come down just a little bit more. And, it could, if it sits on top, if we open and gap up, we could start a move up on JPY. So we could start a curve up. And this was a big bounce off the bottom without coming this far. So I need to see the moving averages that we have in here. We could have had the 10 wrapping around or something. So I got to see what's going on. Well, the 10 would have been over the top. Could have had a 20 or 34 that was coming across here. So I need to get a program that is going to show me the indexes with all the moving averages so we get a better look at it for next time. So JPY could open up and then run. That's a potential. Or it could gap down and fall. Not sure just yet. Australian dollar had a weak move to the upside, rejected just shy of the 100. A lot of room to rise across the currency pairs, but needs more movement next week. Let's see. I'm going to zoom in on this. We see we've got RSI curving up here. Now all right, I see this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's called divergence on the RSI versus the price. So right here we have a price point. We have an RSI low. And then you have a lower price point and the RSI is higher. So that is divergence. It's ever so slight, but I can still see it. You can definitely see, if I can get my screen to cooperate here. Come on. There we go. All right, you definitely see the lower price right here, and then down on the RSI. Well, that didn't work too well. Yeah, it keeps taking me through the other charts. Sorry about that. Anyway, you could see that it's higher, ever so slight. It's higher. That's divergence. So that tells me that the Australian dollar is probably going to rise from here. So we do have overhead resistance, but it's kind of sitting on top. So we may break above. This could be what's called a bear trap because it's gotten lower, but it's still higher. We can still have kind of higher highs, higher lows, I'm sorry. Get out of here. And then it could break straight up and run a nice clip all the way up. So we could get a big run that takes place if we break above these moving averages, or we could just go up a little bit and then fall off again. So this is still an iffy situation on the Australian dollar. Not sure. I wouldn't really play the Australian dollar pairs just yet. Not sure where they're going to go. It's not clear. It's more clear as mud. GBX. Okay. So GBP, this is the pound, and we're continuing to see movement to the downside. We've got a little support coming up here on GBP, on the index, the pound index, but it may bounce just a little bit and continue to tumble. It depends because Brexit and the weakening of the euro, they had a strong run for a long time and they dominated. But we have several currencies that are making a comeback across the world. Plus, you got to take into consideration the global governments are conspiring. They want to do away with fiat currency. Fiat currency is the cash money that you hold in your hand to make transactions. They want to go to digital currency. Crypto is paving the way, and they want it all electronic. so they can monitor everything, keep track of everything. They'll tax the crap out of everybody. Just the way it's going to be. It's going to be a society where they all think everybody should be equal, and it will not work out that way. Just the way it is. You're never going to have that, because you got people that don't want to work, people that don't take their time to put in the effort. But we won't get into all that. We're just going to keep rolling. So GX looks like it's going to continue to come down. Little support coming. Take one more quick look at that. Don't see my cross line here. Probably about 1.30 is where we could see on the GXY. So, yeah, that's where that could end up. So a little more downside on the pound Canada. Take a look at that. Oh, all right. So Canada. Yeah, Canada has a little more room to come down. It could keep coming lower if it holds. It's not where it wicks, it's where it closes. So we're still on the week. Well, it closed, looks like it closed below on that week time frame. Let's move that over. Yeah, so it closed below that moving average. So we probably have room to come down. We could put in a double bottom, or we could continue just to trail on off. So it depends on the strength. 20 weeks. So we're going back to 17, 16 on Canada. Just trying to see where we're at. We could bounce off of this trend line. I don't have a view of where he has it going far enough back to determine where he's got that trend line drawn. So we could have a little support here. Canada may continue to fall, or it may bounce here pretty soon. Could bounce this week. Just got to keep an eye out for that. So it's still an iffy on that one. Let's see. He's got US CAD here. He's thrown up some pairs. So the momentum is to the upside. US dollar to continue to move up against Canada, and that would be consistent with the strength. We could go all the way up here, 1.34, 1.3350 at the least, and that would be over the next several days. That could happen 3 days, 5 days, 10 days. But UCAD looks for a good buy. If we get a little pullback, buy the pullback. That's what we think. That's what is possible. Great setup on Euro USD. And 115.85, 116. So that's what we were looking at this week when we talked. And I showed where my month moving average. So the bounce could come about 115.85, 115.90, just to play a good bounce. Let's hope it doesn't break our hearts. Bounce up to 116.50 and then drop hard like a rock. That would only be about 60 pips. It's still going to be a real potential bounce for Euro USD and the US dollar to pull back. The potential is strong. I do not think it's going to be very long. It'll be short-lived for the bounce. So play the buy gently, but we should make some money up. And you see where it's a potential head and shoulders that he's drawn. We discussed this, that if it comes back up to 120, it may not come that high. It could come to 119 or 118 to put in the right shoulder. It doesn't have to be even with the left shoulder. So the potential is forming here. And then that neckline, when it breaks below that, we come down to $1 like he's got down here. That would be consistent with what we've been discussing. So great days coming ahead to make some real good swing trade, make some good coin on the setups that are coming. Let's see. We got anything else? Okay. So he's saying he wanted to show the weekly moving average overhead basing the Euro USD buy on the pullback on both EU, both Euro and USD. So this is a dollar, and he's expecting 95, somewhere around 95 to be a resistance level. We may just pull back slightly. Now this is the week. So let's look at it real quick. So he's got it right here, but we could go right there. That's going to be around 95. And for the week, so we could open up, maybe if we open up and pull back, here's what I'm telling you. If we open up and pull back first, we're going to shoot straight up through all of these. We'll go to 95.64 and probably beyond. If we open up and go up first, then we'll probably hit resistance and come all the way back down to have a down week at the end. It'll close on the week down. Because I tell you, you generally have a move in the opposite direction on the longer time frame, day, week, month, to start the candle. You have a move in the opposite direction is what I've seen the majority of the time. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some pairs and see. Yeah, here's another potential drop on Euro USD that if we bounce off of this, which is the 50-month moving average, then we could go up. We may not go all the way up here. We could go to right here, 118, 117, somewhere in here, and then we tumble. We don't have to go all the way back up here to be even with the left shoulder. It doesn't always work that way. We could go, here's what I think. Check your RSI, and remember I tell you the RSI midline is 50. We may go right up to the RSI 50 level, and that'll be where the right shoulder ends, puts in the top. And I would sell the crap out of it when that RSI hits 50 on the day time frame on Euro USD, if indeed we do bounce, which I do expect it to bounce. Hope that makes sense. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and close out of here, and we will come on over. Let's take a look at some pairs. Let's start. We did Euro USD. Let's do GU. Same thing. Let's zoom out on this one. That's the hour time frame. I'm going to go on down to the day. Actually, let's go out to the month. Do a quick look here. All right, so GU month time frame. Oh yeah, right here, 1.31. We're at 1.3296. We got about 180 pips to go for the month. We could come all the way down. That would be consistent with a bounce that would occur. Let's go to the week. So I said 131, give or take. 131 is way down here. That would hit right off of that Bollinger Band on the week time frame. So we're going to open up. We may bounce up just a little bit on the week time frame, and then we're going to drop. So be looking to sell. If we open up and move up just a little bit, I would be selling that pullback. I say the higher it goes, the more I'm going to be loading up. You want to wait for it. Don't try to load up too soon. But we'll wait for it to see how high it could go on the week. It could go up to 134.44. Which will be where the 50 is going to be, 134.50. It could go up as high as 150 and then drop off hard. Depends on where the 5 hits when we open up. Let's go to the day time frame. Oh, nice. So the 5 could end up being down here at 133.50. So we may only go up to 133.50 now. That's 50 pips up, and then we're going to drop off to 131, 12, 15, give or take. So if it comes to 133.50, I'm going to enter strong on GU. That would be a great play. 133.50 down to 131, 250 pips, give or take. That's GU. Great expectancy coming on that one. Market opens in about 10 minutes. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. We got bank holidays across the world. New York session is going to be closed tomorrow for Memorial Day. So you can expect New York session to be flat as a pancake. I'm not going to be trading. I'll be waiting for something else to roll around. So you'll be we'll be trading Tokyo, Singapore, London, and then when London is probably around 5 or 6 a.m., call it a wrap. We're done. Get on out of here. Okay, I know another one y'all want to see. I saw mentioned GNZD. So 2-week pairs, but GN does what the pound dictates, and the pound dictates we're going down. Then GN is lucky. New Zealand is lucky that it goes down for the ride. So here's a zoom in. Look at that. We got support coming on GN right here at 192.80. 192.80. Is that right? No, 191.12. We're at 192.14. We got about 100 pips to go to bounce off of that 10-month moving average. Then I bet you we power up if the pound does not continue to break down against New Zealand. I was thinking that New Zealand could continue to lose ground as far as a global currency, and the pound could shoot up like it did right here and go way up to $2, 210, 220, 230 again. We could shoot all the way up to the 200-month moving average again, all the way up here, 230. That would be a monster move. Boy, I'd love to catch some of those on GN. On the week time frame, consolidation. This is high basing. That's called a high basing triangle. Also a bull pennant pattern where it's pounding that 200-week moving average. We may drop just a little bit, and let's zoom in and see. Where is the 34 at? 1.9147. So we open up the week, we may come right here and then shoot up. That would be beautiful. It could happen. So great buying opportunity on GN, great buying opportunity on GU, even though GU is less likely because of the US dollar strength. But I think GN would be a great buying opportunity. The sentiment has been wrong before. It shows that more people are holding sells, but this could turn in the blink of an eye. They're holding sells, probably riding it down to 191.15 or give or take. And then when it hits there, this green will shift way over here as people dump their sells and get into buys. That's the sentiment. GA, again, Australia kind of weak and iffy. Let's go on out to the month time frame. It's going to be based on what G does. We know Australia is weak. Look at that. The month time frame, we're very close. They all look similar. Very close to a bounce. We could bounce. This is the week. It depends on where we open right now. If we open with a little gap up, we're going to run up on the week. If we open with a gap down, we may pull down just to 175, give or take, and then boom, we power all the way up. Not all the way completely to 179, but may go up here. But this looks like an exhaustion drop, and we're right at price support. I call this, I say a buy on GA for the week. I do not see this going down further. Solid price support way back here in January, February, March. And then we're also at this moving average. I think we gap up and run. We could put in 200 pips on GA. I hope y'all are writing that down. Crunchy in the house. Everybody welcome Crunchy Donut. Wants to know what EA is doing. We got to give it to him. Let's see. I don't even know if I got EA up here. Oh, man. Just got to laugh. All right. Change that setting here. Gold won't open for another hour, so we've got time to look at that. No worries. All right, let's go ahead and look. Euro and Australia, as we say, both weak, but the euro is at a potential turning point. So it had a big down month, but we're still in the month of May. So it could reverse at any moment. It's not where it wicks, it's where it closes. So we could still be in activity. We got 4 more days till this thing closes. We could come down to 150. That'd be 429. I doubt it. We're still strong right here. So major price resistance overhead in the 200. We're right on top of the 200. I think we push back up here a little bit. Let's just see. Week time frame. See, that's an exhaustion candle. Me, when I look right at that, I say drop, 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 exhaustion. And we're almost at the 50 week, which is 153.38. We're at 154.29. We got a little less than 100 pips, about 90 pips to drop, and we could bounce. So it depends. I would be a buyer of EA if it comes down to 153.38 to see a big bounce. But drop, 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 and then a long exhaustion candle. Next week, boom, we have one little drop and explode right up. That's what I think the potential for EA is going to be. And then look at this. So the day we crossed over, and look how it respects the 200-day moving average. See what I'm saying? When we come to the 200-day moving average, we are going to bounce up. So on that other chart we were seeing where we were at the 200, we're expecting a big bounce up. I think that was Euro NZD. It's possible. Maybe somebody can let me know. Yeah, there we go. Euro NZD. Yep, we're going to get a bounce up. We could bounce up 100 pips. That might be a great buy right off the bat. So Euro is struggling right here, but this could be just a little bear trap, and we may push right up. Open, it depends on where we open. Open, gap down, and then we rally up, or we gap up just a little bit, come down and touch 154 again, and then we shoot up and we start a new uptrend on Euro AUD. But that's been a big move straight down. Drop, 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 drop. And we're at the 200. First time it's touched, look what we have, the 200 touch way over here. So we had to break up and run, touch. Friend, I don't believe that this is going to keep coming down. I believe this was just a little hesitation here, and we're probably going to bounce right back up. That's $1.54 against the Australian dollar. So trouble in the land down under as this goes back up, and their value is going to decrease against the euro. All right. Plus, look at where we're at in the RSI, 21, way down here. Great potential move to the upside. All right. Let me see what else you guys are saying on this chat. I know y'all have been talking a lot. I've only seen a few. Welcome to everybody around the world. Pleasure to do these analysis for you and help you guys make some money and change your life and change the lives of others. Let's see. UJ, the pair I love to hate. I'm going to do that for you. What's up, Kevin? All right, Saifan, you got your GU. Alice, how are you doing? Good to see you. Abu Bakar, welcome. Welcome, Gabe and Carlos. See you guys out there. Jennifer, Raphael, Kelly. Got you. GJ, Raphael, come on, man. After that spanked us the other day, let's look at UJ and GJ. You guys are gluttons for punishment. I don't understand. All right. GJ, real quick. The pound. Oh, man. Oh, man. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. That is crazy. I got it off of the bottom and it stopped me out because I don't mess with GJ too much. When I get a run, I move my stop loss and I keep that thing in tight. You are not going to get me like this. I'm not going to get had like that. Riding up slow, slow, slow. And, well, this was Friday, and the market dumped way down, dropped 30 pips in about a minute and a half. Get out of here with that madness. You guys, man, I tell you what, I know we got a lot of guys on here. Women, you just got to close your ears for a minute. But, guys, I mean, if you play GJ, y'all love crazy women. That's all I can say. Because this thing will rock your world. Just like those crazy women take your money and don't show any appreciation at the end of the day, GJ is going to do the same thing to you. All right, ladies, you can unstop your ears. We're back. Just had to have a little powwow. Okay, y'all know. So look at this sentiment up here. On the C Trader clients worldwide, 87% of them believe GJ is going to go up. And I've been saying that. The market's about to open, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Actually, I need to close this, and let's open up JAFX. Because Xenia doesn't open until about 7 or 8 minutes, about 8 minutes until the market opens, because they do not let their clients get had by the big volatile spread choppiness. So they protect their clients a lot better. That's why I love Xenia. If you want to join Xenia, you can go to my chat room and you can get the link to join. Let them know J Rock referred you. Built a good relationship with the owner. Come on, JAFX. Open up. Taking a minute. So this won't get rolling just yet. I want to see. There we go. All right. That's the dollar index. Oh, that's a big jump. All right, let's go to day one. But I want to get over here. Let's see, what have we got on this? Come on. Why are you not opening up, man? Don't ask. Okay, Euro USD right here. Oh, well, I got that down here. Let's see. Euro NZD. Gap up. Is that what it did? Yep. So the spread's still pretty wide. 168.75. So Euro NZD gapped up a little bit. This is the day chart. Boy, it gapped up huge. 168.75 off that bottom. 168.41, 30 pip gap up. Wow. Let's see what GJ did. Holy mackerel. Y'all see that? 146.12 gap, monster gap. Yep. And I told y'all, because of that that news that came out the other day, it was all a farce. So GJ just gapped way up 65 pips. So that big drop off was crazy. I got out of GJ over the weekend because I didn't want to hold it. Would have been sitting pretty if we would have held, but it is what it is. I'm gonna let that thing come back down before I do anything. That's on the minute time frame. Let's zoom in. So it may pull back a little bit to 145.50, 145.60, and then we shoot up. Just depends. No real guarantee of where it's going to go at this moment. So let's see what else we got down here. Close that. Close that. GCAD. GCAD's still got a big spread right now. It is 72.50 by 72.64, 15 pips. UJ, let's see what happened to UJ. Big gap up on UJ. Look at that thing, 109, 40 pips. So whoever's holding the US dollar to rally, I told y'all, all that fake news, that crap that they put out there, they automatically want to spin stuff to crush people. Man alive. You know what's going to happen to gold? Gold's going to drop. Gold's going to open up down big time. All right. So we may get a little pullback till then, but let's see. You want to let the market settle? Come on. This may not come all the way down. This is Euro USD. This may not pull back and close the gap. This may just start rallying from here, because all of this, the big run that we had on Friday or Thursday, whenever that was, when it rallied, that was all fake news, talking nonsense, getting out there saying Trump was going to declare nuclear war. They're all full of crap. You got to play the chart. I told you it was going to come back because it was news related and it had no bearing on anything. You just had to hold. Now, I did a buy hedge before the weekend because I didn't want to be in too big of a bind. But I didn't do an equal buy hedge. I did a light buy hedge, which means my pairing, I'll just show you. So if you see down here, I was holding, after that big run, I was actually down about $15,000 on gold rallying because I didn't have a buy. I didn't have a stop loss or anything. I just wrote it out. So I had sells 6.79 lot. Well, I only did a 5 lot buy just to hedge it lightly because I said it's going to come down. So 1.79 greater on the downside. So I'll be up a little bit better, 1.79, depending on where gold goes when it opens. So GJ, this won't show it until the market opens here in about 3 more minutes on that. So we just wait and see. But let this cool off a little bit, and then we will get into a trade. I know a lot of people like to play the gap theory, and y'all play Euro USD to the downside, you might get hosed. So you better be careful. Y'all okay out there? Y'all getting hosed or what? Depends on what y'all did Friday, whatever y'all held over the weekend. If y'all did what I told you, do not sell the US dollar, you'd be okay. Love the gaps when they work in your favor, man, but not when they do it. Yeah, good job, brother. You got out of everything on Friday. Yep. Guppy, were you holding buys still? You made out like a bandit. Your girlfriend came through on you. Yeah, you got lucky, buddy. This is one of those times, but hey, be careful. She still smack you. She reserves the right to slap you, take all your money, and walk away. So if this comes down a little bit, it could still run way up. So I still like GJ to go up to at least 147.17. GJ. All right, EA. Let's look at EA and see what happened over here on EA. Euro AUD. Okay. Let's see here. Template. This is H1 time frame. So EA still not a whole lot of activity, so nothing major. So only the pound, US dollar, and JPY seem to have reacted strongly to the news. Well, there you go. This gapped up too. Let's see. We were at 154.36, and we're at 154.55. So about 20 pip gap up and come down. So this is a little bit weaker. Let's see what the day time frame is saying. Yeah, potential still. It gapped up. Potential to come down and rally up. I really believe this is going to rally up. So EA is a good buy to me, I think. And then Euro NZD, let me double check on that one more time. Boy. It still could come down and bounce off of this 168.41. We're at 168.77. So I think this will come back to 168.41, at which point I will be a buyer in that area for EN. Yeah, EU gap just a little bit. EG, I really don't think that's it's not a big mover. I don't like to play EG, but it did gap up. So 87.59 to 87.73. Yeah, 14 pips. Not worth a hill of beans to me. That's why I don't play EG. If you like turtle racing, EG is for you. Let's see what CAD Jappy is doing. CJ. Anybody know what CJ is doing? Right there. Oh, nice little gap. Let's see. 84.27, 84.60. So that was about a 30 pip gap up. So Canada, so that means the JPY index dropped. And we looked at the indexes earlier and we saw that the index had rallied up. Japan index rallied up, but I said it probably will gap down and fall. So that means there's more downside to be had on Japan. More downside to be had on Japan. We may pull back a little bit, 84.41, just to quite fill this gap where that wick is at, and then we'll turn and we should rally up. I don't think this will be a continuation down. I think the Japanese yen will continue to take a tumble. It has more downside to go. All right. Let's see. Just take a look over here at crypto, and see there's more downside to be had on Bitcoin, at least to 65.58. That's the latest. This is a day chart. Let's see if I get anything out of the week chart. Oh, yeah. More downside to be had over here as well. We could come, maybe bounce up just a little bit, and we could come all the way down here, 42.48. More downside to be had on crypto, even though it has a little price support right here. But you see, bounce. Now we're under the 50. We're going to come down to the 100. So anybody that's buying Bitcoin, you are going to get your head knocked off. Sell it. See the dollar. Is that today? Must have been Friday. Yeah, so that was Friday. So the dollar hadn't opened up yet on the new candle. Okay. Euro CHF. I said CHF was going up, so Euro should come down. Let's see if I got a 1 minute on this thing. Wow. Gap up. So the Euro has gained ground even against this. So 151.31, call it. I'm sorry, 115.31. And we're at 115.88. This was a 50 pip gapper on Euro CHF. Where is this going? No Bitcoin on FinPro yet. Eventually. Let's see. Hold tight here. Oh no. This is coming down. This is setting up for a great sell. Look right here. We're still under that 5. Look at that clothesline. Hanging that clothesline. We're under the 200 on the day chart. So we could go up just to 116.16. We got about another 20 something pips to go, and I bet you the bottom will drop out. I do not see the euro rallying against the Swiss franc. So we're at 115.88. I would like to see this come up just a little bit more. Maybe that's the end. Maybe that's the end. Let's see. We should have opened on Xenia right now. Let's see. There we go. So there's your gap up on GJ, 146. Could come down a little bit. Don't be too anxious to buy. I would wait a little while. It could come way back down here. Fill this gap right here at 145.80, give or take, and then we turn and go back up. So 20 pips, but I really don't want to mess with that. So Euro CHF, and then we're also looking at Euro NZD to be a buy down here. And then Euro CHF, I don't know. Let's see if I can find that. There we go. Move that way over here. US dollar. Going to be right up here. This is the hour time frame. So it's going to trade sideways and push all the way back up. That's UJ. So UJ came way down with the news, dropped off. Now it's rallying. So it's going to come back here about 109.50, maybe 20 pips down. Maybe it'll trend 109.60, and then it's going to turn and go back up. Euro CHF, 115.88. And let's go ahead and take a look over here at the month. I said the euro would drop off against the Swiss franc, but let's see if that is the case. We've come all the way back up here to this level where we had that big drop. We climbed all the way back. I think we come back down $1.10. So I think there's room to drop. I do not think we run. So if it goes up to 116.16, I would love to smack that for some sells. So we dropped right to the 50 on the weekly. 117.07. I don't think it'll go up, but that is possible. Now that I see the week time frame, let's see what's going on here. Decisions. It could be, it could be. This is where it could be iffy for me that it could go up a little bit higher. But I said 116.16 on the day time frame. Let me go back to the month and double check this. Yep. Could pull up. But the next month, I bet the next month we open and we're going to fall off in the month of June. So we may get another little bump up for the week. This week may open and rally up a little ways and then come back. So we gap way up here. We may come down again to 115.50 and then rally up to 116.80 or 117, give or take, and then start dropping off. Then the next week, we're going to come down next couple of weeks as we move into the next month time frame. So on the day time frame, I really like this to drop off. I really do. I don't see any benefit in Euro AUD. 83. Let's see. I'm really thinking about it. Anybody like what they see here for a potential drop all the way back down here, even though we gapped up? I could see that filling that gap because of these moving averages on the day time frame. See what 4 hour looks like. Yeah, I see we've gapped up pretty good right here, but we could drop, and then the next 4 hour time frame drop, so we wouldn't have a big bearish engulfing candle. But we'll probably drop all the way back here right before, and then the next one will open. We come on down again. I really don't see us rallying. Swiss franc is doing too good, even though you could say, well, this is so far down. Man, it could go lower. 114.50, 130 pips. Let's see if we find one that's really good, a real good potential. I don't want to mess with UJ. Let's see what the Mexicans are up to. US dollar Mexico. Now, I did say that could come way back, so that's trailing. It looks like we're about to turn a corner and go back up. So this is on the day time frame. So I bet you we probably bounce right here. So we jumped up, pulled back, rode it all the way, pulled back to the 10, second pull back to the 20. So it looks like Euro Mexico is going to go all the way back up to 20 pesos and probably beyond. 20 pesos. I said I'd be a buyer at 1950, and we almost hit it, 1953. So that might be a good point. Let's see if we can tighten up. Let's look at the week and the month if you like exotic pairs. So that's the weekly. Doesn't look like it's opened up yet. Yeah, this new candle hasn't opened up yet. So, or has it? And I just don't see it. No, there's no new candle here yet. So this pair doesn't seem to be moving just yet. Okay, what else? Let's see, NU. I talked about NU. Let's see what it did. Nothing. On the day time frame, let's see what it did on the 1 minute. 69.16 all the way up to 69.22. Woo, man, massive 6-point gap up. That's why I don't mess with NU. It's too slow. Turtle. What did GU do? Let's go see what GU did. I don't remember if I looked. Okay, so 33 to 33.10, nothing. 10 pips. So nothing major. GU still has room to come down. So I still believe this is a good sell. 33.11 could come down to 31. So I'd be a seller. Now, it's going to rally up as the US dollar is gapped up and going to pull back a little bit. But I like my chances on GU to drop. GU to drop. All right. So I know gold doesn't open for about another 55 minutes, give or take. But I do believe gold is going to gap down. So I put in a buy. Yeah, I put in a buy right before the market closed because I felt like I needed a hedge in my sells, which were way down here. somewhere. There you go. Way down there. So I had sells way down here, needed to be hedged in. Where are you at? There you go. But I played some of the buy up and then closed it out too early, and then I got caught in that big run. So I had to hold and wait for it to come back down, which I knew it would. This was a big stop hunt right here, where they ran that up 40 or 400 pips on gold's calculation, but it's 40 pips by standard, and then right back down, and then we had the drop off. We're going to gap way down here. We'll probably gap down to 1296. Remains to be seen what it's going to do, but I can still hold this buy indefinitely because I know gold will eventually come back up to me. So I can leave this alone. I don't have to sell it, close it for a loss if I don't want to. I could, but I could just double up on the sells going down and I'll still be okay. All right. That should be enough of that. Let's see what GJ Cray is doing. Still lingering right around this level. It's going to trade sideways for a while. I'm pretty sure of that. And trade sideways, and then it's going to run up. So still an 8 pip spread. I would love for it to come back to 145.80 so I can load up, but really, I don't really like GJ. Euro NZD, come back down here. Catch it at 168.36, about 30 pips down. Okay, so that is that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this call up, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to get this on the manifesting profits for anybody that missed out, and we will see where it goes. But I'll be back in a little while. The market will start getting bumping in about an hour and a half, around 7 p.m. And we'll come back and we'll make some money. All right. Take it easy, guys. Y'all be blessed. You're welcome, guys. Appreciate y'all. See you in a little while, couple hours. I'll post it when I'm coming back on. All right. For sure. Appreciate you guys too. Thanks for all the love. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, guys. Talk soon.